Welcome to the Coriolis Effect with Cory Oliver.
Hi guys, I'm Cory Oliver. Thanks for watching the Coriolis Effect. Please hit the subscribe button below, and we hope you like this episode. Hi guys, we wanted to announce that like many podcasters, we just started a Patreon account. Visit our page at patreon.com/the Coriolis Effect. We have 5 different levels of membership and offer early access to episodes, behind-the-scenes footage, bonus episodes, shoutouts, and much more, including personal phone calls, questions and answer sessions, and live chats with Bob and me. That's patreon.com/the Coriolis Effect.
Let's start the show.
Oh, thank you. Good morning. Good morning. We have it's Kovi Fine, correct?
Yeah.
And it's Amphy.
Yeah.
Yes, I got it right. Do we have the clap button, Bob? Is that in studio? Yes, thank you. I know it sounds a little bit muted, but welcome to the...
And it's always better when you explain it.
What? Thanks. Welcome to the Coriolis Effect, Kovi. Kovi. Okay,
Hey.
I want to say in the beginning of this, I have a very dear friend of 40 years. His name's Kofi. So if I correct myself or catch myself, that's why.
Sweet.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. I'm doing very well, and I'm actually excited you have a European accent. I have been watching and obsessed with Downton Abbey.
So I must confess, I'm not really European. I'm South African.
Oh.
So, yeah. Once upon a time, we're a British colony, so we still have like a little bit of the remnants of it.
I love it. And are you in South Africa right now?
No, I'm actually in Tel Aviv at the moment.
Are you in Tel Aviv?
Yeah, that's where we're based. Yeah.
Goodness me. Okay. Well, welcome. We're very excited to dive into your company, Amphy. I guess I'll first ask you, I'm actually curious about the name and where it originated from, who came up with it, and then just tell us a little bit about your business, and I have some questions for you.
Oh, awesome. So it's funny. Everyone actually, one of the first things they ask is about the name. Even like when speaking to investors, you think like the most important thing is like, okay, your numbers and your retention rate and your costs or whatever. Almost always the first question they ask is like, where'd you come up with the name? So it's really funny like that. The way we came up with the name is we actually did like an internal survey. We actually all got from the company a bunch of different, like crowdsourced a bunch of names and then voted on them, shortlisted them, and eventually Amphy was the chosen one. And kind of the thinking behind it was inspired by amphitheater, where it's like Amphy, pretty much it's a recreational learning platform and it's only live. So it's kind of inspired by the amphitheater, where that's where people would gather together. They would all go for recreational activities. They'd come together to watch something or be a part of something. And there would be one person that was kind of broadcast to many. So that's kind of what we do to our teachers as well, is we take all of our teachers from around the globe and we're able to put them on a global stage, so to speak.
That's I actually kind of thought that because, I come from the amphitheater days, but I do love the name. It's a catchy name. So you said something a minute ago that you said that these are only live. So tell us a little bit about what your company does. I looked through the list of people that you host, and you guys host everything. It's amazing. Yeah. I actually was like, last night I was like, okay, I want to take a French class. I'm going to do that yoga class. I want to do this makeup class. I mean, there were a lot of great and inspiring classes on your site.
I had Irina look at the making bruschetta, and then they had Russian cooking. Cook like a real Russian, which she kind of got mad at me for because my wife's Ukrainian.
You can also learn Russian if you'd like, the language.
I may do that because it's been 4.5 years and I've tried to learn it, but she says things like "Privyet," and I go "Privyet." And she goes, "No, it's Privyet." I'm saying the same thing you're saying. She goes, "No, you're not." So, yeah, it's very hard to learn a language at this stage in life.
Listen, all you need to learn, Bob, is yes, dear.
Daragaya.
Oh, you got it.
That was the first one I learned.
Maybe you can teach that on Amphy.
Yeah. So pretty much you're right. We have the widest variety of live classes. And that's really the experience that we want to give to everyone, is that there's literally anything that you'd want to learn, and especially live, you can learn it. And that was really inspired by really the COVID pandemic, where everyone, all of a sudden, there was two kind of stages. There was e-learning, which was recorded classes, whether that's Udemy, Coursera, YouTube, stuff like that. And then there was live learning, which was you go to your yoga studio, you have a guitar teacher come to your house, you have a language tutor that you go to, etc. And all of a sudden, everything that we were doing live offline, we moved online, and we saw how much potential there was for that, right? So you realized, whoa, actually, maybe I don't have to get all dressed up and go and travel and find them all. Maybe they don't have to rent a studio. Maybe the teacher doesn't have to come to my house, so we can get a lot done over live calls. And then there was that side of like, well, it's so difficult for me to learn a language on a recorded class. Like, I need someone to give me feedback, to keep me motivated, to keep me coming back every week. Like, there's so many people that buy these courses that are recorded and they just never even watch the first class, where we have students that they come on and they're learning for months and months and months at a time, because there's a real person on the other side of the screen, giving real feedback, personalized feedback, and really helping you achieve your goals. So that's like kind of why we differentiate ourselves, is that we're a live platform and a diverse platform, from languages to cooking to fitness to makeup, you name it, we offer classes for it.
You really do. And one of the things I was wondering is if I take a class, and I'm just learning all this stuff with you because I'm curious. If I were to take a cooking class and I loved that class and I wanted to share it with somebody, are they recorded and then you can go to that person's actual site, or do you go back to Amphy and you have a catalog of their previous courses? So
kind of the philosophy at Amphy is we believe in the magic of life. So kind of how we're speaking right now together is that you can feel that there's someone on the other side of the screen. You have that personalized connection. There's loads of resources if you're looking for something recorded, everything under the sun, thousands and thousands of places that you can get it. What you can't get is you can't go when you're cooking something and you're following all the ingredients and like your batter does not look like their batter. And
That'd be me.
Yeah.
Well, that's great because you can ask a question during the class. And if on a video, you can never ask a question. And some of these learning videos, they go so gosh darn quick that you can't follow them, or they'll like do 3 steps that you missed.
100%. So that's really what it's about, is that you can stop, you can ask questions, you can, like, for example, I'm also doing yoga classes, and we can go a little bit more into that story, but I'm the least flexible person out there ever, I think.
Second least flexible.
I'll challenge you on that. But I started these yoga classes, and she just personalizes the yoga routine, especially for me. She knows that I'm not flexible. I'm not always able to do anything that she would normally, that I would find as a yoga class. And then I get personalized exactly to what I'm able to do, what's comfortable, what's safe for me to do. So there's that real-time feedback and interaction that keeps me engaged every Sunday morning for my yoga.
And is that class have multiples in it, or are there 30 people, or is it one-on-one?
So we actually offer both types. So there's one-on-one classes and group classes. And it really depends what you prefer. And that's kind of the class that you go for. Also, there's different categories that might work differently. For example, a cocktails class. Oftentimes, you might want to do that with a bunch of friends. Maybe we've had like some birthday parties that like everyone tuned in from around the country to be able to do a cocktails class together. Or maybe you want to do a date night where you're cooking something with the chef, with your partner. So we offer a little bit of everything, really.
You know what I loved about it too is, when I was going through it, you guys are really affordable, and that's so great right now. And during a time when it's been a little difficult economically for everybody, you have really affordable classes. Who sets the price for the class? Does the teacher, or do you guys kind of help them set the price? Yeah, so we actually give full flexibility to the teachers. So we want to really empower them to be able to teach their classes wherever they are, and obviously they set their own prices. And what's amazing about the prices is that because there was so much extra price involved,
whether it was the teacher's travel time, whether it was renting studios, paying gym fees to be able to train within the gym, whether all of these other costs that were baked in that no longer have to be. And the fact that now you were maybe teaching one person, two people, three people, now you can teach 20, 30, 50, 100 people at once. That has a lot of price implications as well for the teachers. So that's kind of another offer that we have.
You know, you're right. I actually used to do hair and makeup for like celebrity hair and makeup, and I'd go to their houses and I'd drive all over town, and, you know, it'd be 2 hours in the car. You don't factor in the mileage and the gas. And so that's a great point. You're able to give, you know, incredible information for a very reasonable cost.
And on top of that, never mind the gas and the mileage and everything, is that you can have pretty much back-to-back classes now. Let's say you're a guitar teacher and you used to travel from house to house teaching guitar. You have to have an hour between every class to make sure that you could get place to place. But now, like, one class ends, one class starts, you can teach from anywhere in the world. Also, the students are able to stay more committed because, like, let's say they move to another city, you don't lose them as a student. Let's say they go on vacation, they can still continue with you.
Yes.
Let's say you go on vacation, you can still teach them. So there's that unbelievable flexibility and consistency that it allows for as well.
So, Bob, I'm very excited today to try this drink. It is called Freezo.
Freezo, okay.
Yes, and it is a health drink, and it has a lot of natural ingredients. Two of them are apple cider vinegar, which I love, and Manuka honey, which is straight from New Zealand. There's only 3 grams of sugar in this. That is amazing. This one is actually called Berry Beet. This one is pineapple turmeric. Oddly enough, I just put turmeric in my coffee this morning. Yes, I can taste the turmeric in that. These are all really good. I predict this being a big, huge hit. These are fantastic. It's on Amazon. You can get these on Amazon.
And they come in variety packs, or you can buy 1 pack of a single thing, or you can get the 4 pack.
Oh, no, I'm going to go on Amazon and get these. Breezos. These are fantastic. Thank you. Well, they knocked it out of the park on this. Breezo.
It's been a year and a half, so yes.
0 fat, 0 cholesterol, barely any carbohydrates, 3 grams of sugar. It has vitamin D, which is, right now it's big. We should all be taking vitamin D, calcium, iron, potassium, and vitamin C. Done. I'm getting this. This is a fantastic drink. Thank you.
Glad you like it.
Freezo. 4 different flavors. Berry beet, pineapple turmeric, ginger lemon, and pomegranate hibiscus. Wonderful. Tastes great.
What do you get the most inquiries about teaching?
From the teacher side or from the student side?
From both. Let's start with the teacher.
Okay. So the teacher side, the most I would say is probably around languages. That's the most there's the most teachers that are used to teaching languages online. It's something that everyone knows is very relevant for live classes. So I was, for example, taking a few languages, trying to find a few, and I was trying to learn Vietnamese, actually, and I just found it impossible. Like, it's a very complicated language with so many different vowel sounds that there were subtleties in the way that I was saying things that if I didn't have a live teacher listening to me and being able to correct me, there's no ways I would have progressed at all in the language, like no way. So that was like quite a strong base where there was a lot of teachers that were already teaching online that they found it very easy to transfer. From the student side, actually, we've got one of our strongest categories is actually chess, which is really cool. I think it's very likely probably based on the Queen's Gambit.
I was just going to say that show. I watched that, and that's probably, it's a great show, by the way. Yeah.
So that's actually like one of our strongest categories. Where we have like grandmasters and international champions that are teaching live classes. I myself, I'm taking chess weekly now. Like, I didn't even know chess at all. I knew like the rules from when I was a kid, and I just started. And from the first class, I just learned so much that I just had to continue and just went from there.
I'm gonna commit to taking a French class on your site. Right here, right now, because I actually tried to take French, and you bring up a very good point. It was a beginner's class, and it moved so fast, and she was a great teacher, but she spoke so fast. I really couldn't I'm dyslexic. Bob knows this. Everybody knows it. And so for me to learn, it has to be repetition. I have to kind of see it a certain way. And to be able to take a class like this, ask a question, and converse with the teacher is better for me than sitting in a classroom and it just kind of going over my head. It's a waste of time, really. So I value something like this. For me personally, it would help immensely if I can converse with the teacher about it.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many examples of why that personalization is worthwhile, whether it's like the actual correction and the focus. It's also maybe interest-based as well. So maybe you want to learn French so that you can speak to your partner, or maybe you have a trip lined up that you want to speak to, or maybe you're interested in certain topics that the teacher can then create a course along like those lines. So it's really like having that feedback and connection is amazing. And also, you don't have to leave your house. You open up the laptop, close the laptop, and you're done. So it saves loads of time from the student side as well.
It's so great. I actually want to learn French because I am French. And people always say, oh, you're French? And I'm like, uh-huh. And then I know the next question is, do you speak French? Parlez-vous français? I guess that's how you say it. And then I'm like, no.
You got to say, no.
I have so many questions here. So what would the main benefit that Amphy offers that other hosts do not?
So I think our core offering is really around the live aspect. And there's like so many extra features that you really get around live. And we touched on many of those before, whether that's the personalization, whether that's the commitment. To be honest, commitment's one of the biggest values I find in it as well. Just in today's world where like the default answer of how you're doing is busy. And like it's difficult to really make time to reach your goals, whether those are fitness goals, professional goals, hobbies. How many people want to learn guitar, they just don't make time for it. And maybe they even bought a course to learn guitar or downloaded an app to learn guitar, and they just never did it. But if you have someone waiting on the other side of a screen that you've set up a time every single week on Wednesday at 4 p.m., we're going to learn guitar, then that's really going to help you achieve your goals ultimately. I had a story. It was like a cold. It was in the middle of winter. It was freezing cold. It was raining. And I booked a class with a fitness teacher on Amphy, Clara. And wow, did I not want to work out? Like I'm telling you, like I just did not. It was cold. It was rainy. I was at work late. Like it was the last thing that I wanted to do. And listen, there was someone else there. Like it wasn't like that I just like had committed to myself or something like that. There was someone waiting there. They were going to be there from 8 p.m. till 9 p.m. That was when we booked. That's when we had it. And to be honest, I didn't want to do the class. I did it because there was a real person, and I felt amazing afterwards because like I got closer to my fitness goals. I really committed to myself. And that's really the feeling that we're trying to provide to everyone is that sense of actually real progression towards like our vision is a brighter us. And that's really what we're trying to create, is we're trying to enrich people's lives on a regular basis to really help them become the best people that they can be.
I got to tell you, the only thing better than canceling plans is doing the plan that you wanted to cancel. Because you're right, you always feel better once it's done.
It's true. That's so true. And sometimes you just have to do it and the feeling will follow, right? And also,
yes,
in regards to your site, that's a great positive because it's like if you have a gym partner or a trainer, you're less likely to say no. So it's a motivating and inspiring factor that goes along with being a part of Amphy. How can anyone use Amphy? Is it open to anyone? I mean, I'm sure you have exclusions of what can be taught, but
yeah, no, really, we have anyone can use Amphy. It's a global platform. The platform's in English, so obviously it's mostly focused, and most of the students and teachers are in English-speaking countries. Although we have both students and teachers from over 50 countries around the world. It's basically because we have teachers based all over the world across every time zone. It's a 24 hours always live platform. So not only can you find any class that you want, but at any time of day that you want to learn it, you'll be able to find classes, because there's a teacher in Australia teaching, and there's a teacher in South Africa and there's a teacher in California, and all of them combined are able to allow you to do your yoga practice at 3 a.m. or 3 p.m, no matter where you are.
And that's so great, because if you are a traveler, you can pick up a class anywhere, anytime in your
100%.
hotel room, you know?
Yeah. While you're on vacation, while you're traveling. I even once I had an urgent meeting in the middle of town. And like while I was traveling, I did a Spanish class, just like from Zoom on my phone, you know, like I had the teacher, I was able to get the feedback. It was traveling. Why did I need to cancel the class? Which is also really amazing.
So how long does it take? Walk us through the because oftentimes I've had this conversation before too. It can be overwhelming if you're not necessarily a techie or you're not, how easy is it and how long is it to create a platform or a course for someone?
So sorry, just again, to create the platform or you're saying from the tech side?
I guess from the tech side, maybe that's not the right word. See, I haven't done this.
In other words, if you want to be a teacher, what's the process in setting up your class and getting it ready? You don't have to do any videos, which is nice. Yeah. You just sign up. So if I want to teach how to play piano, so what would I do?
So
other than learning how to play piano first.
Yeah. So another way that we differentiate ourselves is like we really put a serious focus on our teacher community as well, where a lot of other platforms have maybe kind of treated them a little bit disposably, to be honest. And we have a very high touch point to make sure that we have only expert teachers coming in, and we support them throughout the whole process. So firstly, there's a vetting process of making sure that they actually can do what they do, that they have qualifications, etc. And then we support them to create the classes, make sure that they set up for success, and then obviously partner with them to be able to promote their classes. It's really not a difficult process. It's something that your first class can be set up in maybe 10, 15 minutes or something like that. And then your next classes can take like 3 or 4 minutes each of them. So it's really not very complicated. We just try to have very high touch points, really get to know all of our teachers personally and support them throughout the whole process.
What do you need to get started?
Okay. I'm sorry, I'm going to jump in. First of all, I love the vetting process. Can you explain how you vet somebody to make sure they can teach what they say they can teach?
Sure. So first of all, we have Zoom calls with every single teacher, right? So it's not like a self-serve. You can just sign yourself up and say that you can teach or do whatever you want to do. We speak to them. We make sure that they have experience teaching online. They have experience teaching. There's a section in their profile that we verify that they have certifications as well, that they taught. So it's not really, the idea behind Amphy isn't really a gig economy that like you're kind of a student and you have a few hours and like you want to teach someone how to bake a cake. That's not for Amphy. Right. You're a professional chef. You went to culinary school. You're now teaching cooking lessons. You'd like to do it on a global scale. You come to Amphy. So that's kind of the vetting process.
That's a great question, Bob. Well done, Bob. Well done.
What did you expect?
Nothing less.
Well done, Bob.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Kovi.
So then what do you need to get started? Other than a computer, I would imagine.
So that's it. That's the magic of it. You really just need an internet connection and a computer. And from that really allows you to like have so few running costs around being able to provide the classes. And also for the student, I mean, who doesn't have a laptop and an internet connection these days? So it really creates accessibility around these classes that really just hasn't been seen before.
And does Amphy have a built-in mechanism, or I guess I don't know if that's the right word. I'm terrible at these kinds of questions, but I guess what I'm trying to say is, do they have a way to drive traffic to the individual courses, or is that left to the individual teacher and their social media?
Yeah, so one of the benefits of joining Amphy as a platform is that we have a robust, ever-growing community of students. So we invest heavily in being able to engage those students and able to bring new students. We work with the teachers to being able to promote the teachers specifically, to promote the classes that they're teaching, and really create a community or a bunch of mini communities within our larger community of the Amphy platform.
Is Amphy based in Tel Aviv, or are you just kind of traveling? Because I know that's where you said you were right now.
No, so yeah, our main office here is in Tel Aviv. That's where we're based, and the core team is. But we have team members kind of scattered a bit all over the globe.
And so, what is an average cost for a course? Because I was looking at the prices, and again, I mean, I get it. You're taking out, you're taking out overhead, you're taking out rent, you're taking out all of that stuff. And it just is so great, in my opinion, that you can learn so much now for an affordable price. How do you come up with? How do the teachers come up with it?
So the teachers really come up with it based on, like, we encourage them to take what they feel is their worth, and how much they want to be charging for their 30 minutes or their hour. We also encourage them to create a variety, right? So maybe they will be able to teach an hour for a different price that they might teach a 20-minute class. And then that also creates more accessibility around teaching their classes. The average price on the platform is around $20 per class. And but that's like, there's a huge range. So it's more specific around the categories that might be able to inform you a bit better, where like language classes might even be around $5 or $10 per class, because sometimes the teachers are based overseas, and that's what they charge. And sometimes cocktail or chef classes, where sometimes can be longer and more commitment from their side, might be closer to the $100 range. And also the professional classes sometimes are above $100, even into the $200, $250 range when you're talking about professional business coaching, that kind of stuff as well.
And I know, as a teacher, I've taught many different subjects myself. If I were to start a course on your site, is it a monthly fee, or is it something that comes out of each class? How does that look for the teachers? I know that's probably a main question for someone signing up for a course.
So from the teacher side, it's actually totally free to join. And the way that it works is we take a percentage commission on every booked class. So that way really aligns us for the long term, that we only make money when they make money. So that way we just both want to be able to build that community of regular students.
Wow, that's actually impressive, huh, Bob? I mean, it's really nothing.
Very much so.
All you really do need is a computer and an internet connection, and you can teach from anywhere. There's no sign-up fees. It's just a percentage. I love that. You really are community-based. I can feel that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a question. Kovi, you said you've taken a bunch of classes?
Yeah.
And you own this place. Do you have to pay when you take the classes? Do you say, I'm the owner of the place, I get a couple freebies a month?
We pay the teachers in full as if we're regular students. So if the teachers get...
Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah. That's the sign of a good business.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
It's their time and expertise at the end of the day.
It is. That's exactly right. It's their time and expertise. What are some of the classes then? Let's talk about that. I know I mentioned a few, but I mean, I could pull it up right now, but tell us some of the classes. I was very impressed with the list of courses that you guys have already had. And I'm sorry, I'm trying to pull it up. When you click on it, it gives you, is there any way we could show it, Bob, or?
Yes. It's already on the screen.
It is.
Well, it will be on the edited version.
Okay, good. Because when you click on, like, let's say you click on makeup. I'll just use that because I have my cosmetology license and I did makeup for years. So when you click on that, will it take you to, however many courses you have?
Yeah, so that's kind of sorted by categories. So every single category that you want to do, there's kind of mega categories, which would be like fitness and well-being or stuff like that. And then underneath that, that'll be like nutrition, yoga, HIIT, boxing, Zumba, pretty much any kind of subcategory that you want. And when you click into that, you'll be able to see the full variety of pretty much all of the classes that you want.
What is one category that you don't have that you'd like to see Amphy host?
It's a good question. It's also one that, like, we actually very demand orientated. So We want people to tell us when they don't, like kind of how pretty much we launched around 8 months ago. We opened kind of the beta with just 3 categories. We had like, I think it was English, Spanish, and cooking. That was what we had. We had 2 languages and cooking. And kind of we grew from those 3 categories to being now, I think we had over 80 different categories of classes. And the way that we really did it was we wanted to respond to customer demand. So we did a lot of work to be able to go to, whether that was friends, family, advertising, on platform, off platform, really saying like, hey, Cory, what do you want to learn? And then you'd say, you want to learn French. And then we'd bring a French teacher. And now we offer French. And they would say, hey, Bob, what do you want to learn? And you say Russian and piano. And we bring Russian and piano. So it's kind of like a lot built based on those customers that really told us what they wanted to learn. And we brought those classes and those teachers. I think one category that we offer a little bit, but I want to see a lot more of it, is around coding and software. It's actually something that we have like recently a bunch of demand for that. People saying, I want to learn coding. And there's also something that's very interesting around live learning, because there's a lot of things that should work that don't, and you have no idea why. And it's super frustrating. It's like super, super frustrating. So being able to do some section of that live with someone, being able to ask questions, being able to dive deep into concept, or really just to get started and keep yourself committed as you progress, I think there's a lot to offer there as well.
So hold on. My question is, when you find a topic that you don't have that people want, do you go out and recruit the teachers?
Yeah, we normally do. Basically, we have a teacher team, an excellent teacher team, actually. And they when we identify that there's a certain category that we want, we then go scouting. We look for expert teachers in those fields based on like a bunch of different sources. And we do outreach to them and we say, hey, we've got this platform. We'd love to explain it to you and kind of get them oftentimes cherry picked to be able to have the best.
You know, I was looking at all of the things and I didn't see, and it might be on there. I was looking, but there's a huge community for, my stepdad is a fly fisherman and fly tying. I would imagine. Do you guys have fly tiers, teachers?
That's actually the first I've heard of it. And that's super interesting. And I'll definitely pass it on.
And let me tell you something. It is an art form. People do tie their own flies, and it's a big, big community. So I was kind of looking at it.
It's not easy, and you catch the best fish with the best tied flies.
You really do. And he has taken countless courses and book, but I know for a fact, because I was looking at it and I thought, you know, what a great gift it would be to give him some courses. This isn't just something that you can do for yourself, but you could gift these courses to people. And I thought, I'm gonna get him some fly fish courses, but I didn't. I was just looking through it last night, so I didn't see if you had any. But that might be something to, you know.
It sounds really good. I mean, it's hard to catch me out on a category that we haven't taught yet, and it's definitely one that I'm gonna look into, because that sounds super interesting.
Yeah,
you know, it's also a great idea. I think if you could find, I don't know, maybe somebody who would put you on their podcast, you should give them like a whole bunch of free lessons. I'm just saying.
Here's the thing. I agree with Kovi, and that is, I would rather pay for their expertise, because I've been in that teacher position, and your classes are so affordable. They're so affordable. So I'm excited to take French. I'm not sure who I'll speak it with, but even if it's just to Bob, maybe I can, you know.
We'll go to a French restaurant and you can order.
You know what, Bob?
And I know what escargot means.
Bob, I'll actually organize some gift cards for you and Cory and the whole team, and also I'll create a link for you guys that you can share with all of your listeners.
You don't have to do that. My email address is I'll
send it to you after. I'll send you after we're offline with pleasure.
You're so kind.
This is my favorite episode.
Well, that is something to think about, though, that for people watching, that it is, if, you know, it's a great, and especially now when people can't really get out and Christmas shop and birthday shop, and, you know, people are ordering from Amazon. This is a great gift. How great would that be to give someone a lesson in a language that they've wanted to learn? And is that something that you could someone could go on your site and easily navigate and say, okay, I want to get 6 lessons for my friend. They buy the 6 lessons and then they just send the link to their friend with a card, or how does that work?
Yeah, 100%. So actually firstly, you can just buy a general purpose gift card. You'd be like, listen, I heard about this Amphy thing. It's amazing. You got to check it out. Here's $50, $100. Happy birthday. Otherwise, every single class, you can gift that specific class. So then it'll come with that specific branding, that link to that specific class, the image of the class, actually for the price of that class, and being able to say, listen, I know that you're really interested in fly fishing. I saw this class. I just had to buy it for you here. Enjoy. And it's really like those kind of thoughtful gifts that really is another big part of our business as well, because it's something really special and unique that kind of you can't really give someone that anywhere else. So
well, it's personalized, and anytime you can personalize a gift like that, it means a lot more to me. You know, some of my favorite gifts that I've received are a coaster that someone made that said something, or so I really love that you can do that with this site.
Two things, and one we didn't touch about is that they also have group classes, right, where multiple people can take the same class at the same time.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, especially with the holidays coming up, and over the past few months, whether there's people sometimes trapped away from their family members, sometimes for safety reasons, sometimes for regulation, sometimes just there's no flights in the air. We have countless examples of family members, of friends being able to connect and learn something together and sharing an experience, whether that's any one of our classes has really been done that, whether it's learning a language with your mother or your sister, whether that's doing a baking class with your whole family that are scattered around the globe, being able to do it together. There's just countless opportunities and stories that we have like that.
That's great. Hey, Cory, if you're going to give somebody a class, don't give them a beauty class.
Okay. Well, I was just in that moment, I was just thinking about how cool it would have been when Julia Child was with us to if she had a course on this, to join in with her course. Do you have celebrity courses or, people that come on and want to teach whatever?
Yeah, so we actually do. We have something which we call our master series. And that's where we have, normally our classes are regular. They on a weekly basis, on a daily basis, or whatever schedule the teacher chooses. But these are once-off classes with celebrities. So we normally work to have a couple of these every single month, sometimes more. For example, we've had some MasterChef winners, MasterChef winner of USA, Luca, or MasterChef Australia, Larissa. We had just 2 weeks ago now an iTunes #1 pop singer. Next week we have a photography celeb. So we're constantly working as well to get some of the higher talents, the experts, really to be able to connect with their fans in a very unique way, which is really powerful as well. And really giving pretty much anyone from their living room access to be able to, oh my gosh, I can now learn with an iTunes #1 pop singer on how he writes a song. Or I'm about to do a date night with my partner and I'm going to be taught with MasterChef winner. Like just those
That's great because I know the masterclass series, but they're recorded. You don't actually get to interact with the celebrity. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah. I mean, people we had you able to, in the middle of your cooking, ask the chef, hey, I know we're making an anchovy dish, but my anchovies aren't good. Can I replace it with something? And they answer you, and they answer you by name, and they connect with you. And while they're cutting their onions, they're saying, hey, where are you from? Nice to see you. That kind of engagement is just, Amphy's the place where it happens.
I love it. I actually love it. It's just more personalized, for me, that's a big deal. How long does a typical class go for? Is there a minimum or a maximum, or can it be whatever the teacher decides?
So in general, it's what the teacher decides. We offer classes anywhere from 20 minutes to 3 hours long. We actually have quite a wide variety of free classes as well, which are free live classes, which pretty much you won't find anywhere else as well. Those are normally a bit shorter. So those are like probably 20, 30 minutes range as well, which is kind of like a taster class. So oftentimes what people will do is they'll come and I really want to learn French. Wow, there's a free class in French tomorrow night. Okay, I'm going to book it. And then they book it. They fall in love with the teacher. It's a really personal experience. They learn so much in that first class. And then they're like, wow, okay, great. I'm going to book 6, 8, 10, 12 classes now for the next few months to be able to do with them. So that's...
How can you not fall in love with your teacher if he's speaking French?
Exactly. Quite dangerous.
All right. Now, this just sounds like a great new way of learning. I mean, it's the way of the future right now. I mean, this is where it's going, and it's safe and fun and exciting, and you do definitely offer just about anything. I mean, it's amazing your catalog and what you guys host. So
yeah. I mean, talking about how it integrates to like kind of the way the world's going is we actually have a very strong business to business offering, a B2B offering, where we actually work with companies who now want to, their employees are scattered, they're all remote, they're working from home, they're feeling disengaged, retention is at an all-time low, it's very difficult to keep people connected, and it gives employers the ability to invest in the well-being of their workers and being able to get them access to Amphy classes, and we work with them to create plans customized for their teams that everyone in the globe, no matter if your office is in California, in Johannesburg, in Mumbai, in Tel Aviv, they're able to give all of their workers a similar perk and really being able to invest in the well-being of the employees. Because at the end of the day, it's not companies are the employees these days, especially in the tech industry where it's all talent-based.
That is such a great subject to talk on. My very best friend worked at a company, a large corporation, for many, many, many years. And she created a yoga class within her company. And every day at 2:00, she'd go down and do this yoga class with her company. And it just created a ripple effect of morale and community. And so that would be another thing for a corporation, a big corporation, to say, okay, guys, hey, we're going to do this class on Amphy every day at 2:00. And then everybody could see each other as well. For the companies that are, I guess I'm assuming you can all kind of say hello and keep the camaraderie within the company. Amphy is a good conductor of that, if you will.
We actually had one of our B2B customers based in Australia, and Australia's in like serious lockdowns, like all the time. And they just hired they just grew their team by something like 50%. And most of them hadn't even met each other. There was no ability to informally connect. There wasn't just being able to do it. So they booked, we actually we have a poker champion who gives poker classes. So they booked poker classes, being able to teach, and they were able to connect like that. So it's kind of like learning, what we call edutainment. So it's education and entertainment in one. And that was like a team building activity that they absolutely loved.
Wow, you guys really do provide a lot across the board. I wanted to share this with you because I was straightening up back there before I had to do this. I got to do this interview, and I was cleaning behind this card my daughter gave me, and I found this. This is just this morning. That's why I'm sharing it with you. I found this. What's it called? A fortune. And I'll keep some sometimes. I'm not really big into them, but sometimes I'll look at it and I'll go, oh. And this one reminded me of this interview, even before we had the interview. But it says, use your abilities at this time to stay focused on your goal. You will succeed. And you really are, Amphy really is providing a platform that people can do just that. And so I can't thank you enough for creating this, because you're giving people opportunities, and for that, you'll be blessed. So thank you so much. This isn't quite over. We have a couple questions that we ask, and I wanted to also say if there's anything that you wanted to add to this interview that we didn't touch on, please feel free.
So firstly, my pleasure. And it's really, as I mentioned before, our vision is a brighter us. That's really what drives us, and really we want to create communities around the world, and really a global community of lifelong learners that really enrich their lives on a regular basis and want to create accessibility around that. One last point that might be worth mentioning is our huge variety of kids classes as well, which is hugely popular, where like everyone wants something to do with their kids and they're stuck at home and they want them to learn, whether that's a new language, whether that's a musical instrument, you name it, there's classes for the kids as well. And that's also been sometimes what some of the B2B customers have asked of us, is that they give these perks to their employees. The employees sometimes use it for themselves, but sometimes they rather give it to their kids. They're like, listen, I want my kids to learn how to play chess with the grandmaster. I want my kids to learn Spanish, French, Portuguese. And that's another huge side of Amphy that's really worth checking out if you have kids or have friends that have kids.
And that's a great point, because I have a 22-year-old, so she's, almost out of college, but I would have done this with her. I've always said if they taught another language from zero or from kindergarten to 5th grade, these kids would know it. They pick it up so quick when they're young. So that's a great point that you can do that with Amphy. So thank you. I have a couple questions for you that we like to end on our show. And Bob, I don't know if you have the list of questions for the word association, but I will ask while I ask him this other question. And maybe we'll just say 3 words that describe Amphy. Usually we do for the person, but
so you took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to say Amphy.
So yeah, 3 words that would describe Amphy.
So I think the words would probably be community, connection, and commitment. Probably those 3.
Those are great.
Yeah,
Community, commitment, and
connection.
Yes, I write them down. Sorry. And then, do you have the other words, Bob?
I do.
So, Bob.
All right. Kovi, you're familiar with the word association test?
No.
Okay, I'm going to say a word. You say the first word that comes to your mind in response to that word.
This is going to show my dark psychology.
Yeah, it's exactly right. All right, you ready? Okay. The first word is, and don't think, just first word that pops in there. School.
Blue.
Help.
Siren.
People.
Place.
Learn.
Inspire.
Country.
People.
Open.
Wide.
And internet.
Connection.
And I'll give you one more.
Okay.
Cory.
Oliver.
He knows my last name, Bob. Oh my goodness.
Yay.
Oh, thank you so much. Wow, that's wonderful. Those are great answers, by the way.
Okay. I wasn't too sure about the school blue one, but okay, I just went with it.
Well, you know what? I thought maybe a school of fish in blue water, but I don't know where your mind was going.
I actually think that it's subconscious, because when his thing comes up, JSP Productions, it's a blue. So it could be one of those word association things where you see it. Last question is, are we asking this question, Bob?
Of course we are.
Well, we'll be consistent. Who's your celebrity?
Now you got him scared.
Yeah.
We ask everyone who their celebrity crush is. It doesn't necessarily have to be, I know you're married, it doesn't have to be an actual opposite. It can be somebody that you admire, someone that's taught you a class, somebody that, that inspires you.
Okay. I think I'd probably go with Gary Vaynerchuk, if you know him, Gary V.
No.
If you don't know him, he's worthwhile. I mean, it's not really a crush in the traditional sense, but I think he's got a lot of great value that he gives to many, many people. He's like a business marketing mind, operational mind, something like that, and just has a cool way of looking at the world and provide. I think he helps a lot of people. So well done to him.
You're the perfect example as to why Bob and I asked this question. You know, sometimes it's fun and it's cute, but we learn from asking this question, because I had not heard. And can you spell his last name? Because I will look him up.
I will try, but
Or how do you say it?
I think it's VAYNERCHUK. But if you just search Gary V, you'll find it. Yeah.
Thank you for that. Well, you know, Kovi Fine, I cannot thank you enough. This was a fine interview. And and I look forward to learning.
She's been holding that one in all interview.
Yeah,
no, I really do look forward to it. I look forward to learning many things on Amphy, and I will certainly do my best to promote it, because I believe in you and I'm grateful for you. And I love the fact that I can now personalize my gifts. You know, every year it gets like redundant, where you give the person the same thing, and to be able to give them a gift like that, this is where I'm excited about it, because it's a personalized glass that they can, you know, and then they'll get to go on there and use it. Maybe they'll find something, and then maybe they'll, you know, give it as a gift. You just never know. So we thank you. Bob and I are grateful for this time with you, and we wish you guys the very, very best of luck in the future.
Yes, thank you very much, Kovi.
It's been an honor to be with you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we're out.
The Coriolis Effect is produced by Jazz Productions. Producers Corey Oliver and Bob Victor, host Corey Oliver, editor Bob Victor, and assistant editor Kate Bonsall.
Hi guys, I'm Corey Oliver, and thank you for watching The Coriolis Effect. We hope you enjoyed the previous episode. Here are some more episodes you might enjoy. Hit the subscribe button below, and have a great day.